Okay, hello everyone. Here's a bit of a random video actually. So let me lower you guys down real quick. I apologize for the clutter on the ground. Kind of doing a little rearranging, but welcome back to my little triple fan rig here. Here's three ceiling fans that will. Southwind is still there. Southwind has been there the longest out of all three of these fans. Huntington comes in second over there. And then this one comes in third. I haven't changed any of them yet. I have not really had a reason to change any of them yet. There is a fan update, but I can't show you guys that in this video. I'll have to show you guys in the next video. I did another install in my parents' room. As you can see, I can't really zoom in. I might be able to. As you guys can see, that old SMC Hugger right there is now back in my collection. Took it down because the outlet box, I feared that the outlet box would give up, or well, give in to the fan's weight. So I went ahead and put the SMC U42 in my parents' room. So crazy to think too, because that was originally in my friend's parents' room, and now it's in my parents' room. So the thing has a lot of parenting luck on it, I guess. I did a lot of work to that fan too, as I mentioned in the test rig video. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys. I mean, the reason why the lighting isn't that great right now is because I'm gonna decided to just start the video off instantly, and I also wanted to show you guys the lighting theme. I kind of keep it all the time. Um, my my dim lighting isn't on right now. Uh, I'm actually gonna work on getting those to a lower wattage dimmer bulbs because I have three of them, and if I have all three of them running with the same kind of bulb in it, which is an 11 watt bulb, they get a little too bright. I would like them dimmer. I'm going to try and get them. I need one more standard to candelabra adapter. Let me show you guys what I mean here. I have only two of these right now. Converts a regular standard screw base to a candelabra screw base. I need one more of these to put into that one. These two had them in them for a while there. Then I just switched them to another screw base because I don't have any more 4-watt night lights at the moment. But I am gonna switch them to the 4-watt night lights eventually. I might do frosted just to kind of make it look a little nicer, and sometimes frosted's even dimmer. But if I go behind me here, I had my YouTube channel pulled up and stuff, but here's what everything looks like as of the recording of this video. Oh, and I almost forgot. Recording of this video, yes, I know it is late. The 18th of January, 11:35. I record really late. Usually whenever I'm an all-nighter most of the time, so I usually record my videos in the middle of the night, and usually in the middle of the night everyone else is asleep, so there's not a whole lot of background noise, which is nice. Let me extend the tripod again. I'm going to just sit you guys down. I'm going to go plug in my main lights. Actually, before I do that, let me turn on the fluorescence. I integrated the fluorescence back into my lighting here. There's only two fluorescent fixtures. I was going to try and get a third one where the light is above the Southwind here, the Hampton Bay Southwind, but I wasn't able to get, I don't have an extra wire for that right now. I used a lot of my plugs on these lights and stuff. But there's a daylight one up there with the noisy ballast. Ballast is still somehow kicking. So I'm not going to replace the ballast until it really shows signs of failure other than the noisiness. It seems to be kicking the bulb's brightness out correctly, so I'm not going to worry about replacing the ballast until need be. And then here's the other one with the bulb that is in pretty much in a sort of a failure stage here. I have a feeling that bulb used to be daylight, and it's just gone pink. Because I'm not sure if a soft white or kitchen bath would do that if it changed color. I think a kitchen bath would go yellow. That one went pink. Or like a lavender, a light lavender color. So that bulb is on the road to failure. Just not sure. I've already put in so many hours on that bulb when it looked like that. So I have no clue when it's finally going to fail. The electrodes are already glowing orange in it, which usually that's one of the first signs of it actually going to fail, but and it hasn't done anything yet, so we'll see how much life it still has left in it before it finally bites the dust. So what I wanted to do was put the modern fluorescent fixture up there that takes the same bulbs as these two do. The one that's instant start and got the crappy ballast in it that is, as soon as it fails, it is irreplaceable. But I don't have like I said, I don't have an extra cord for it. Oh, and I have another, here, let me show you guys this right here. I have my little fluorescent desk lamp over here, just above my bed. I use it as a reading light now because I have gotten into reading some natural medicines book, which is just a bunch of herbs and spices and things that you could use as natural medicines and stuff. So I've gotten into things like that. But besides that, they're all running on their they're set to their high speeds by the pull chains. Well, except for the south wind. The south wind's on low, but they're set to high speed. These other two are set to high speed via the pull chain, but they're on low via wall control. And I do have the lights set to half intensity on them, and the lights always stay on by the switches, but by the pull chains I just have it to where I can still use the fan's pull chains. So that's about half brightness there. The camera obviously is overexposing it, or underexposing it. Oh no, it's overexposing it, yeah. That's about what it looks like at full brightness, the way the camera's overexposing it. But in real life, you can actually see through the frosting of the shades and stuff like that. Let me bring them up full brightness just so you guys can see what happens. Let me see if I can bring it out. Let's see. All right, here we go. That's full brightness. As you guys can see, not a whole lot changed other than the color temperature on the camera. And there's dimmest. Now that one you guys can actually see, but it's obviously overexposing it. In real life, those to the naked eye, those are actually barely glowing enough to illuminate on the pull chains and the blade brackets and the motor housing. But I keep them at 50% because they're not too dim, not too bright that way, and they look good that way. So I just always have it set up to where I could use that pull chain. And same for this other one. This one's actually got the three-way pull chain. I once again ignore the clutter in the back. But the outer four come on first. Shades are dusty on this. I haven't given the shades a proper clean since I've got the fan. I still need to get its twin up and running. The one that's got the That's the one that's got a chandelier. I'm not sure if I've mentioned much about the details about that, but you guys will see once I can finally get it running. And there's middle. So in the outer 4 lights, I have the iridescent flame light bulbs. I think they're 40 watts each. That one is a clear halogen incandescent bulb, which means it's just a incandescent looking bulb on the outside and it's got a halogen in the middle or in the inside, which means if the outer glass is broken it will still work, but it's very dangerous for a halogen to work exposed because moisture, and if someone touches it with their fingers it will burn the finger oils off and crack the glass and ultimately cause the bulb to fail. And then one more pull and you get all 5. Very nice. Alright, let me switch to my better lighting because the noise of that ballast is just kind of irritating. I would not want to sleep with that light running. Okay, there we go. They're on the same circuit as my dim lighting fixtures. I just kind of switched the plug over. Alright, there we go. There's my lighting, my truss lighting for ceiling fan maintenance, etc., etc. One thing I forgot to show y'all was my recess cans. They're still there. They're on the circuit that I just disconnected. Oh well. There's not a whole lot changed of them other than the bulbs that I have in them. I took the incandescent converters out and just put regular bulbs in them. This one is a failing version of these bulbs. It's just really dim, so I'm just going to keep it like that because I could actually run that continuously and not be irritated by its brightness because my eyes are very sensitive to bright lights, especially when I step out in bright sunlight. That's why I've got transition sunglasses shades on my glasses. This one here is just a soft white version of those, except that's the Walmart Great Value brand, and they're not very great, and I don't think they're dimmable either. Actually, yes, they are dimmable. No, I don't think so. I don't remember. Are these dimmable? I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this one. We're going to experiment. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to try and dim it. I forgot if this one was dimmable or not. I have a feeling it's not, because these bulbs were very cheap. Let's try it in this Huntington here. Let's see if this does anything. Well, it lit up at half brightness. Oh yeah, they're dimmable. Not very sensitive. Well, it gets very sensitive towards the bottom part, but it's not very smooth. And when they're set to the lowest, the halogens are able to light up, but the LED bulb goes out completely. I think if I unscrew these halogens, it'll pop back on because the halogens are not there to cause a resistance. Oh yeah, there you go. So now I should be able to control that. Well, they were dimmable. Ah. Yeah, I don't think these are dimmable. It was dimmable when the halogens were in the picture, but now all of a sudden they don't have the ability to dim. See there, it's able to dim with the halogen integrated, but not any other way. Okay, well, we just made a non-dimmable bulb dimmable with a halogen integrated. That's very interesting, but regardless, they're not dimmable. I wouldn't even get dimmable bulbs from Walmart anyway. They're probably not going to dim that great. There we go. Ah. Got whacked in the head by a fan blade. That's the con, obviously. That's the obvious con of having low-hanging fans like this for maintenance reasons, and, well, just because you work on them as a hobby. You end up getting whacked in the head by them pretty commonly. But luckily, I haven't damaged a fan doing that. I've hit my head multiple times on the light kit of the 92 Hunter ceiling fan over here. Still haven't figured out. As of right now, I still have not figured out the model of this. I thought it was a I thought it was some sort of showroom edition or something like that, or studio. Oh yeah, I thought it was a studio series at some point because of the shades. You can find those on studio series, but the motor housing doesn't match the actual studio series. The motor housing is different on this one. So, and it's an antique brass, and the studio series that I've been able to find are in brushed nickel, or not brushed nickel, they're in polished brass, something of that nature. But this, I'm not sure if this is a studio series. And it seems like one of the shades were replaced at one point because you got that discolored one from all the rest. But yeah, there's that. It's pretty nice. Let me turn off this light back here. I almost forgot about that. Let me make sure that's at 50. Well, that's not at 50%. That's at 100. Ooh. That is nasty high on there. Turn that down. All right. So there we go. And of course, these fans can get slower, at least the ones that are set to low on the wall control and set to high on the pull chain. But I'm not going to get too much into that. I was just going to make a random video just showing some things, showing some random things that may fascinate some people. And if you're wondering what I'm using to control these, this controls the light. Obviously the light's off on the pull chain, so because I would like to use the pull chains on the fans. And here's the wall controls. Same for the other one. There's the speed for that one. Speed control for that one. I don't have a switch plate for this one yet. I do eventually plan to get one, because the exposed metal just kind of don't look right. But there's that. And of course, we got the lighting up here. They can all be controlled individually by the pull chains. I've got them daisy chained to each other because they've got the outlets on them. And you can see this is the very end of the chain right here. And look at that. I turned it off and all these still work. I can even turn the first one in the chain off and all the others would still work because it's a split power. So here's the first one in the chain, as you can see by the plug running to it. Off that goes, and the ones that are daisy chained to it still run. But if I were to unplug that one plug, it will turn off those two, and that one, because this is where the beginning of the chain is, and only this one would work, obviously. I really do like these. These are going to last pretty much a lifetime because these are just good lights that I thought about. These are 40 watt equivalents so far. I do want to get some 100 watt equivalents to replace them to make things a little brighter. Ooh, can't talk. Oh, my throat. So these are each about 4.5 watts of power, and the 100 watt equivalents that I want to get are 10 watts each of power. Because they're LED and stuff, and of course I'm gonna get the daylight ones. They'll have the thicker LEDs in it. So here we go. Very nice scenery. The Huntington will probably be the first fan to come down and be replaced by something else I need to work on. And there's my rack of blades. Like I said, this is just a random video to show progress of things. I do plan to eventually get a control for the 42-inch ceiling fan control side. That way I can control 42 inches advanced, just like I can control these advanced. I do eventually want to take down the Southwind and put up another 42-inch fan. I don't want to do the, I don't want to put the SMC grates in here because that just hangs too low. It hangs a little lower than the Southwind does, and I still hit my head on the Southwind. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Westinghouse Casanova here. So, because that will go way up to the ceiling and or way up to the surface of the trusses up there, and it'll just be mostly out of the way. That one's installs a little longer than most flush mount ceiling fans, simply because it uses bolts to connect the motor to the mounting bracket to the ceiling, then using screws, which is just the older way some ceiling fans were put together back then. It ain't a very fast fan, and it still makes a little bit of bearing noise. The Westinghouse Casanova does. So does the Southwind here. It still makes bearing noise as well. So, yeah. That's just what's going on right now, and I do want to show another, like, sort of a fan that I've got right now. It's actually a heater, because it's in the middle of winter, and it's, well, actually getting into the coldest parts of winter, if not already in it. But over here, we have this Hyper Tough box heater. Warren Fan Guy 205, one of my favorite ceiling fan creators, or ceiling fan enthusiasts, YouTubers, recently did a video of this, I believe. Either that or I just watched an old version of a video that he uploaded. I'm not sure, but he got one of these too, and then I just now got one as well because, well, this room gets really cold because the door isn't quite sealed because this room has a outside door to it. But let's just do... So that's just fan. Switching it to the heat settings is not going to do anything to the fan speed, and it won't do anything visually. It'll just start throwing out heat. None of these springs glow. They just get really hot. But I can try and start it up. So I'll do spin down. If anybody knows Hobby Central on YouTube, he works on a bunch of these heaters. And I actually saw him restore one of these that was super bent up and broken. Like, you wouldn't think the thing would be able to get back in its original shape. Obviously, when he restored it, it wasn't perfect, but he got it looking like just a bunch of scrap to looking something like this again. It was really cool. He was just hammering away at the dents and stuff, and he was able to make the thing work again. It was a heater just this size. I don't think it had the same knobs on it, but it was a pretty cool restoration. I didn't know restorations could go that far. There we go. I keep this thing on low heat. If I keep it on high heat, it'll use too much electricity. And since we're using the heater, a lot more electric bills been going through the roof. And I've got the thermostat set to just below minimum, or I mean not minimum, but just below medium. So I've had it off the entire time for for the video. Let me lift it up real quick. And it does have one of those tilt sensors in it. As you can see, I just tilted it and it turned itself off. But if I go back up, it comes back on. Go back down, turns off. So that's a cool safety feature from Hypertough. That's not the only Hypertough thing I've got. For some reason, it's not that they're just my company of choice or anything, but I have a whole bunch of Hypertough stuff. Like, I have this, let me grab it real quick. I have this Hypertough leaf blower from Walmart. And I have a Hypertough drill, which is right here. So I have a lot of Hypertough branded things. And it's not because I love the company or anything and they have all the best things for the best uses or anything. It's just that I have a lot of their stuff. And I just buy it because it's there. So Hypertough is just coincidentally there wherever I buy like appliances and stuff. So yeah. About a 26-minute video, not bad, but I really ain't got much more. Oh, I almost forgot. I do have more to show you. I got a couple more shades, or a couple more glasses in from my friend's house. This is from a Mainstays Hugger that I parted out. And this is from one of their outdoor fans that they don't use, and that, well, they'll probably be parted out by me sometime in the future if I get the permission, but I took the globe off of it. So this is like I got another small globe now. Definitely the smallest globes in my collection. It was a fail to replace the fan in his sister's room with another Hugger. Because the Hugger that I tried to install, we had no idea where the screws were to that. So we were trying to use screws that we had on hand, and we used a screw that was just a tad too long. And when I went to go see if the fan would spin, it nicked a winding and the fan wouldn't spin no more after that. So that's where these parts came from, is that fan. And the globe. So it was a fail, but we'll eventually get that fan replaced, but, you know, you learn something new every day, so, yeah, that thing's got a nicked winding, so all it does is sits there and hums whenever you turn the power on to it. So, and then there's the blades from the other one that they had up there. And there's the spare parts, so now I've got another motor housing. Could probably use that motor housing for one of my Littletons to make it look like a Harbor Breeze or anything like that. Here's my fan lineup. Alright. Yep, there's all my glasses. Well, a random Chinese cooking cookbook there. I do have some cookbooks and stuff. Oh, look, there's another one there too. Yeah, I like experimenting with recipes too. Ceiling fans isn't all of my life, but it takes up maybe 85% of it, so I'll say that. But yeah, I also have the, geez, I'm getting more and more, I'm becoming more and more like Hobby Central. I'm just rambling. Not that he rambles too much, but I sure am rambling. Or, well, I'm thinking I'm rambling a lot, but here's this fluorescent fixture here. I run this pretty much 24/7 now because it lights this little corner up over here, because this corner gets really dark. And then they're both wired together, as you can see by the wire nuts here. And there's that one there. It's on too. That is a T8 next to a T5. And I think that T5 is about 8 watts. So I apologize for the poor camera work here. I've got a tripod on my phone here, and the way I have it working, it's taking up some of the screen. So the tripod clip is going over the screen where I look to see where the camera's pointing. So it's really hard to figure out where I'm pointing at. But I can see enough of it to really have an idea of where my camera work is going. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Wish I could show you guys more, but I think I had just enough to make a random video, and well, I'm out of video filming ideas again, or well, things to show on purpose. But yeah, that's what we've got going on so far. Thank you guys for watching.